Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Fatso Radio, episode number 120. Yes, that's right, folks. 120 Fridays in a row. I haven't even forgot one Friday. I guess it only takes a few minutes to record an episode. It's not a big deal, but give me some credit. Just kidding, folks. This episode, another Friday night, folks, and another Friday night. What do I talk about tonight? I get into a little bit about what the season is. It's pool season, folks. 2020 is still going on. I give a little shout out to my Centreville Voice buddy Desmond, and get you guys to get over there and check out Centreville Voice. And of course, I talk about God in this episode. So I'm all over the board like always, folks. I hope everybody's having a great Friday night. I hope everybody checks out my sponsor for life, Volpe Martial Arts. VolpeMartialArts.com, KW's hottest, newest Kung Fu and Hapkido school. My brother, Sifu Adam, comes to you 5 days a week, 6 days a week, I believe. It's virtually right now, but once we open up, we'll be back in the Kun floor. All right, folks, have a great night. I love you all. Lily, take it away. Fatso Radio.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, a very first podcast show.
Yeah. Let's do it. Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Fatso Radio. The home of me, Carlo Volpe. I come to you every single Friday night, folks. Tonight, no different. I hope I'm organized now. I am organized. Welcome to Fatso Radio. Again, my name is Carlo. What is Fatso Radio? Fatso Radio is the podcast, program, show, special. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what it is. It's a podcast dedicated to telling you that fat is not the enemy, folks, and the ketogenic diet helped me a lot. The paleo diet helped me a lot. The carnivore diet has helped me a lot, and I want to share with the world all the great things that comes with that diet. But not only that, I want to challenge and question other things a lot as well. I'll still talk about the diet today. I'll still talk about fitness and everything else, but from time to time, I will talk about different things. And one of those things I will talk about from time to time is politics. Tonight, I'll get into it a little bit, but also just, I like to challenge the idea of, or sometimes I just like to challenge any of the norms. Not all of them, of course, but some of them need to be challenged from time to time. And I think it's very valuable to do that. One of the reasons why I feel so strongly about that these days, over the years, a couple of things have happened in my life that have really made me question and really kind of given me the license, honestly, to question it, because I've been proven that without question or without breaking the rules or breaking the norms, I wouldn't have had a certain amount of success. And two reasons for that, or two examples rather for that. The first example is the high-fat ketogenic diet, and even now a carnivorous diet. Folks, you can't convince me now that meat is bad for us. You can't convince me now that fat is bad for me. Animal fat is bad. You can't convince me now that a higher fat diet is bad for me. You can't convince me of that, because I've seen tremendous changes in my body, in my life, health changes. I'm convinced now, right? I've seen it in other people as well. It's not just me. Hundreds and thousands and millions of other people are seeing these results. The other thing years ago was probably the first things was cannabis. I know growing up, I was always told that cannabis was such a bad thing. Marijuana was such a bad thing. Once I realized at a younger age, maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, that cannabis wasn't what I was taught it was, and that it's such a much different, complex, thing. That's when I started really questioning a lot of things. So Fatso Radio, we question everything else, folks. Tonight, no different, but I'm going to do a couple normal things as well. Firstly, I want to give an update. It's May 21st. Again, another Friday, folks. It's May 21st. Finally, we've opened up the pool. I'm so fortunate to be here with my wife and my children. I'm so fortunate to have a pool. So fortunate to be able to still enjoy the things that I want to enjoy, or the things that we love so much. We are so fortunate. And it's May. We're in Canada. It's May long weekend, the May 24th long weekend. It's Victoria Day long weekend. And we finally opened up the pool earlier this week. But now the pool is clean and it's good. It's getting a little warm. Still a little bit too chilly for my liking. It's 76 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but that's Fahrenheit, 76. I like it when it's above 80. I'll go in if I have to. So don't tell me. Don't yell at me and call me I don't know, whatever kind of names you want to call me. You can do that as well. That's fine. I'm a chicken. Doesn't matter. But I do love it, and it's pool season, so this is a great season. It's a good time to remind me as well. It reminds me, I guess, that swimming is an awesome exercise, whether you have a pool or not. I mean, hey, I will say I've been fortunate. These last few years, we've had a pool in this newer house, and like I said, I'm fortunate. I thank my lucky stars. Growing up, I wished every day we had a pool, but there's many examples or many opportunities to swim, whether it's at the beach or whether it's at the public pool, whether it's at the friend's house. what I want to talk about is swimming itself. It's a great exercise. I love swimming. I got into swimming. Actually, it's funny now. I got into swimming probably back in 2000 and well, when I was a kid, I swam. Just, we took lessons as a kid. Me and my brother took lessons, or we went to the beach and we'd swim, but nothing kind of as far as an exercise, nothing as far as a routine or a regiment like that until I want to say around 2004, maybe. Yeah, 2004 or 2003. I was living in Gananoque. So shout out to Gananoque, Ontario. Living out there. And there was a pool, a hotel pool close by where I lived. It was on the way to work, on the way when I was done work. And it was awesome because basically I was working a lot of nights back then, or days, but it was a 12-hour night shift or 12-hour day shift when I was in casino biz. And I get off either a day shift or night shift, and I just go work out. If it was night shift, I got off, it would be 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning or 10 or whatever the time would be. I'd go there, work out, go for a swim, and then go to sleep. It was awesome. I mean, during that time is when I actually I started to lose a bunch of weight. I was doing really well. The first time I was kind of doing the Atkins diet. So make a long story short, swimming has always been, even as a kid, swimming's been kind of one of those things that I liked, but I wasn't that confident with it. I mean, I took the lessons, but I wasn't that confident as far as, laps or anything like that. But now I realize it doesn't matter. As long as you're getting exercise in the pool, as long as you're doing it in a safe way, and it's something that's repeatable, right? Your technique has to be at least good enough where you have to do it in a safe way. You don't want to get hurt. And for some people, it takes a long time to get to that level, but for some people, it doesn't. My suggestion is if you're going to swim, obviously learn some proper technique, and you don't have to be, Michael Phelps. You don't have to be Olympic swimmer. Just get some technique down pat and then practice that. As you're practicing your technique, you're going to practice swimming. You're going to practice your endurance. You're going to practice you're going to build your muscle tone. Swimming is amazing because, although it doesn't seem like you're getting a cardiovascular workout, it doesn't seem like you're gonna, you're raising your core temperature and you're hot, you're even possibly sweating, and it doesn't seem like that sometimes because you're in the pool and you are staying cool. But it's a great workout. It's a great. I love it because it's just something that I always felt great when I was swimming. My lungs felt great. I felt like I was always breathing great. I equate swimming to going for long walks or going for like challenging walks in my mind, or like hills or maybe hikes, because you're taxing yourself. You're taking some long breaths, and I guess any exercise you can do that, right? Or any activity. But I really like swimming because you can, as long as you have water, you can do it at any age. You can do it at any fitness level as well. You can use flotation devices. You can do it. Especially, if you have access to a pool, whether it's at your house or whether it's at the YMCA or the local pool, if you have access to a pool is great because you can use the walls of the pool, the rim of the pool. You can use the stairs of the pool. You can use different flotation devices, noodles, and what have you. A great way to have a low impact, virtually no impact, right? You're in the water. You're not having the slamming of your weight slamming on your knees, slamming on your ankles, slamming on your hips. And if anybody's tried to lose weight, anybody who has tried to lose weight by definition is trying to get to a thinner weight or trying to get to a less weight, right? And it goes without saying that weight is the issue. Right, running at 300 pounds is a lot harder than running at 200 pounds, which is a lot harder than running at 150 pounds. But it's relative, of course. That's what I want to talk about for swimming. I encourage people to get out there swimming. Beaches hopefully will be open. I don't understand why they're closed here in Ontario. Here's my shout out. Here's my crazy shout out for the day or for the week. If you're in a state, or if you're in a province, or if you're in a city, or if you're in a country that enjoys your freedom and is letting people exercise their freedom, God bless you. And if you're not, and you have to be patient, like where I live, God bless you anyway. A good time to remind everybody, I'm not a doctor, folks. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a professional in anything. I'm not an expert in anything, but I'm an expert. I think I'm an expert now in just speaking my mind and telling you what's up. And pools are healthy. Swimming is healthy. Go for it. I don't want to say pools are healthy by general, but swimming is healthy. Hopefully swim in a lake, swim in the ocean, swim wherever you want. But if you can't swim there, swim in a pool. Pools are great. What else? What else is next, folks? 2020. Okay, I'm still doing my 2020. It's getting a little easier. Not much easier. It's getting a little easier. It's amazing. It's amazing to look back now that, a year ago today, or a year ago this month, I was doing 100 push-ups, 100 crunches, 100 sit-ups, or 100 crunches, 100 squats, and now I'm back at 20. And I'm going to work my way up again. But starting at 20 again is, and I've said this before, but starting at 20 again and kind of resetting, that mental reset in my mind really gets me back to the basics. It really forces me to look at things like form, and it's one of these things for me. It's almost like a sense of pride, because here's an example. As I'm doing these push-ups, I'm thinking, you're only doing 20, so you better make them count, right? And then if I'm not making them count, I'm going to slow down and try and make them count. When I'm doing the crunches as well, I've done 100 before in a row, sitting like right there. So I better make these count. And I make these count. If I'm only doing 20, I make these count. And it's the same thing, folks. If you're only doing 1, if you're only doing 5, if you're only doing 2, whatever, if you're doing 200, but you can do 1,000, and you're taking it easy today and you're doing 200, my goodness, if you're doing 200 and you're taking it easy, take those 200 and take it easy, but have great form, right? Same thing as the squats. Lord, if I could have one gift, not many gifts I would love to have and I would ask for, but one of the things would be to do squats without any sort of discomfort or pain. I don't think that's possible, but it's getting better, right? The hips are loosening up a little bit. The knees are loosening up a little bit. Doing the squats are painful. Nobody likes doing squats, folks, but do the squats, do them deep, do them slow, do them with great form. And I think there's a lot of benefit with that. It opens you right up, your mobility, but also strengthens you up. Like, hey, moving my ass up and down is not easy. 20 times, like I said, 20 is not the end of the world, but it's better than nothing. Okay. I want to plug for a second Centreville. Oh, before I get to that, before I go on to Centreville, whether you're doing your 20-20-20, I know there's a lot of people doing more than 20-20-20. I love that. For example, my sister does some handstand push-ups. She does some other things. I don't know. She does a lot of things that I don't know what she does. But I love that idea as well. If you have some ideas for me, let me know. I want to try these handstand push-ups. I'm not exactly sure where I should do them. Maybe in my hallway. I just don't want to hurt the kids. Yeah. Okay. That's enough with 20-20-20. But again, if you're doing 1, or if you're doing 10, or if you're doing 20, keep it up and know that it's something. I'm telling you, even if you did 1 a day, every single day for a year, at the end of that year, you just did 365 and you just did it every single day. It's that consistency. It's that routine. It's that daily self-love. That's what it is. It's daily self-love, but for a greater good, right? For the greatest good. I really believe that it's for the greatest good, because if you can take care of yourself and if you can keep yourself healthy, then you can do everything else. And you can't do anything else if you can't do that. You can temporarily do something else. You can temporarily forget about your body and forget about your health while you take care of the world. And that temporary time period may be 20 years, or maybe 5 years for somebody, maybe 50 years. But someday you're gonna have to take care of yourself, or it's game over. So even if you do take care of yourself, it's gonna be game over one day. So I get that. So don't yell at me about that. I want to plug Centreville Voice. So there's another podcast that I do. Desmond Silva, a good buddy Desmond from high school. We went to high school together. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Probably one of the most reasonable men you'll ever meet. Great heart, great soul, I can say. Comes from a great family. Like I said, went to high school with him. We didn't see each other for a bunch of years. Didn't chat for a bunch of years. He lives in Ottawa. I live in Kitchener. We're chatting it up now. We both have many of the same concerns, like many of our friends, like many of our family members, like many of our coworkers and community members. We don't necessarily want to care about politics, but we're forced to care about politics. And that's how I feel about it. I'm not exactly sure how Desmond feels about it, but he'll tell me, I'm sure. How I feel about it is that I'm forced to care about it because it's our life, right? I don't want to necessarily play into the politics of politics per se. That's confusing. Or be an active player in politics, however, maybe one day. But the idea of what I'm trying to get out is that we're forced to care about certain things in politics. And when we are forced to care about certain things, whether if it's our kids' lives or whether it's, a disease that we're terrified about and we need to know what to do and where to go and how to get help, or your kids' education, or whether it's the roads, or whether there's UFOs, and we need more information, or whatever the case may be, sometimes we need to talk about it. Centreville Voice is a new podcast that Desmond and I started. The idea behind Centreville Voice is that along the political spectrum, there's the left, there's the right, there's the center. The left seems to be liberal, right? Or lately, the left is liberal. The right is more of a conservative, a viewpoint. What we want to talk about is we want to talk about the moderate talk. We want to talk about the moderate perspective. There's left ideas, there's right ideas. These ideas together become center ideas. It's about being, both sides coming together and having a reasonable discussion, because growing up on one side being liberal more minded, or growing up being more conservative minded, and having different views. Desmond and I have similar backgrounds, but have different views and different upbringing. So that's my plug for Centreville Voice. We have an episode usually every Friday. And I think we have about 7 or 8 episodes now. So check it out. Centreville Voice. Our website is centrevillevoice.com. Our YouTube channel is Centreville Voice. Ooh, I got that. YouTube channel is Centreville Voice. Again, that's Centreville, spelt the Canadian way, the British way. Every single English person out there is yelling at me, the Canadian way. What are you, crazy? Centre, Centreville, Ville. Also the French way, I guess, right? Centreville. Centreville Voice. The idea is that we're in the center of the line. We want to speak to, not only speak to the center, but we want to speak to everybody and try and meet in the center. That's what Centreville Voice is about. Common sense. So the last thing, that's Centreville Voice. The last thing I want to talk about is, I have no idea how I'm going to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up. One of the things that I've been thinking about a little bit more lately, and I've been hearing about it a little bit more in the news, and I've been hearing not necessarily people talk about it, but I've been kind of hearing it, I guess, and I've been thinking about the idea. So the idea I've been thinking about is God. And this could probably go on for about 10 hours or 8 hours. But I guess what I want to say is, or I guess what I want to ask is, are there other people that are also just kind of questioning everything about the idea of God? Whether God exists, if you believe God exists, are you questioning, are you questioning that existence? Are you unsure? Do you have questions? I guess what I'm trying to get is that, is it something that other people are thinking about right now? And the reason why I'm thinking about it, I don't know actually the reason why I'm thinking about it, but one of the reasons I think is definitely because of COVID. I mean, with COVID, it's like in other examples in my life or other people's lives where you've had to reflect, and you've been forced to reflect on your life, and you've been forced to reflect on the people that you love and the people that you care about. COVID is one of those times, right? And like other times in my life, and this is very personal, but like other times in my life when I've either been scared, or something bad has happened, or something good has happened for that matter, oftentimes I have thought about God, whether I'm praising God or asking God for help, or wondering where God was, or wondering how to talk to God, or how to get that message in there, or if there is a dial, if there is a station I could have tuned to receive, to listen, to tune in. There's been a lot of questions about that, whether it was a certain church maybe that you could go to, and that church would connect with you, and then maybe you could feel something. There was times where I was looking for not meaning in religion, but connection to religion, or connection to churches, or connection to God. And I've been thinking about God a lot lately. I've been thinking about religion a lot lately, or I guess a lot more than I have been before. I'll be honest, there's been years where I was sure that there was no God. I feel so foolish now saying that, not because I'm sure there is a God, but because how could I possibly be so sure about anything, right? But let alone such a big question like that. And it's weird because I'm not thinking about it in a similar way that I have in the past. Now, in the past, I've thought about God, and I have many, many times over the years. I've thought about the existence of God as in like come on, if you're here, maybe you could tell me something, or maybe you can, show yourself, or maybe you could help me, or maybe you could kind of just prove some sort of an existence, or some sort of why you would be here. Because if you're here and you're not really showing yourself, but if you're working in mysterious ways, it's very confusing, right? So over the years, I've had a lot of those questions, and I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with this tonight, but this is one of those episodes where I'm just laying it all out there, folks. And maybe doing this will speak to somebody else's questions that you might have, or maybe you'll have an answer for me. Hit me up. This may be the episode that everybody hits me up, and I can't keep up with the questions, but please, it'd be my pleasure. But again, it's Carlo, what are we at? Fatso Radio at gmail.com. But yeah, so anyway, what I'm getting at is that in the past, I've questioned, is there life after death? When I've been faced with either my faced with my health, right, or the risk or the chance of my death, or my children, when they were both born premature. My wife, when she was in labor with both of them, right? My grandparents passed away. When my mom's been sick or my dad's been sick, or thankfully, they haven't been sick that much, but people I know have been sick, and there's people all over that either have cancer or all kinds of stuff. So I've done a lot of that in the past. Like, if you exist, why do we let things happen that happen, or why did I think maybe you didn't play an active role when I was kind of told you played an active role? That's some of the questions these days, I guess, or in the last little while. Hold on a second, sorry. I've kind of had some questions around the idea of what purpose does God serve in people's lives? What purpose could God serve in my life? And is there value? And I got to give Dr. Jordan Peterson the credit for this one, but is there value in living as if there's a God, even though you may not be sure if there's a God? So, what are the first two questions? Is there a God? I can't remember, but I want to focus on the third one. Jordan Peterson is talking about, and he's mentioned a few times about living your life, or he lives his life sometimes as if there is a God when he's been asked about if he believes in God. I guess my question would be, is there a purpose? I guess back to my original question: is there a purpose in believing in God, and is there value in it? And I do think there is. I'm not saying that there's the same value in believing in God for everybody, and that's something that's very, very. I want to make that very clear. I know very well, very, very well, and it's the most obvious thing to me that everybody has a different relationship with God. Of course, if there is a God, right, and if they believe in God, and if they believe, even if it's their God or your God, however you want to position it, it's clear that everybody has a different relationship with God. If there's a God, okay. That's pretty remarkable. But then again, everybody might have a different relationship with everybody else. Okay, so if everybody has a different relationship with God, then the purpose of that relationship may also differ for a lot of people. And I don't think. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if the purpose is good and it is good for you, then that's good. So I get that. I still have questions around what would be the value in it if you already live your life the same way regardless, but that may be for another discussion. And I guess the third question is back to the Jordan Peterson question: is there value in living your life as if there is a God? There's probably value in your life. There's definitely value. I want to say more than probably. There's definitely value in living your life like that if you believe. And I can only speak from the Judeo-Christian, I guess, Abrahamic God, right? The monotheistic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, believing that there's one God. So from that idea, if you believe that there is or if you lived your life in a way that as if there was a God, right? So in accordance as if there was a God, not necessarily maybe as by the book, as any book would say, but as if there was a God and as if this is what God demands. So if you did that, I suppose, or if I did that, I suppose that would, well, I don't know. I guess my question is how would that be? How would I be if I lived my life like that? And it's a really big question. It's a really vague question. I guess no one can answer it because I can easily say on one hand, sure, I can live like there's a God, but whose book am I following, right? Or whose rules am I following? And that's the beef I always had. And I like saying beef because I really love beef. But that's the beef I've always had with religions, and I still have with most religions. I necessarily don't have the beef with the religion, with the person believing in the religion, not by any means, but I have just a beef with the certain set of rules that, perhaps certain set of rules that a religion would imply say is mandatory, but maybe some religions are better than others, and this is not a discussion about that, but but I guess when it comes down to it, I've always kind of heard that you could take which parts of the religion you want, right? As long as you're being a good person, that's all that matters. That works for some people. For other people, though, it doesn't work. For other people, it's like, well, no, you have to take it by the book. You know, whether it's fundamental people from any religion, right? From Christians, fundamental Jews, or fundamental Muslims. It's, you know, people who believe that it's just by the book. Well, then it's just by the book. And I have issues with that as well, because I believe that some things need to ideas need to evolve, right? There are sub-truths, of course. There are some universal truths and some real objective truths, but other things are based off of culture. A lot of things are based off of kind of social norms. Some things shouldn't change, of course. Things like "you shall not kill" shouldn't change, right? But so I don't know what I'm talking about exactly as far as any detail or specifics on the religions or the rules. You know, some of the rules I definitely don't agree with. I guess I didn't when I was younger, but maybe I would now, because I'm and I think a little bit differently now, right? And I'm not thinking about it because, or during COVID, because I'm necessarily wondering what God would think about this time. However, that's an interesting question, because it's I've done that game in the past. I played that game where I thought, well, what's God doing during this instance in life, whether it's I'm in the hospital, or, you know, my children are in the hospital, or my wife is in the hospital, or everybody I know, or you know, there's a pandemic going on in the world. Like, I'm not at the point right now where I'm blaming God and I'm saying, damn you, and I'm saying, why aren't you fixing us, and why aren't you helping us? But many years ago, I had similar questions to those, not exactly like that, but I'm not at that point right now, and I'm not thinking that. But what I am thinking about now is, how does God play a role in any of this, or how does God fit into any of this? And if not, and if maybe if there is a God, or maybe if God does exist, maybe going through episodes like this will reveal something to us. And I guess that's what I'm hoping for, right? I'm one of these people that I'm always searching. Will something like this reveal to us that religion is maybe true? I don't know. I mean, religion has been around for a long, long time, right? The religions of today that are still the strongest, you know, Islam, you know, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, they've been around for, and many others, of course, they've been around for a long time. And, you know, maybe it's only our short lifespans that we have as humans. This is our inability to see the big picture, because we only get a couple decades of, or if we're lucky, maybe we only get a few, 2, 3, 4, 5 decades, whatever it is, of walking with our eyes open. But maybe some people, and maybe I'm not there either, but maybe people spend our lives with our eyes closed. And maybe that's the problem, is that the human experience is actually short, so short in the grand scheme of things, that we don't have a lot of time, you know, to figure things out. And maybe that's why, or maybe that's why people find a lot of comfort in things like religion, because in a lot of ways it's history books. In a lot of ways, the religion is explaining the encountings that we've had in the past. It's got us through things like floods, through famines, through plagues. And yes, maybe some of these explanations seem outdated for today, and they are outdated for today, but maybe there's something more to it, and maybe the explanations can be explained, or maybe the explanations can be reworded, or reimagined, or re-scientifically analyzed to make sense to us today. But maybe it's worth it. I don't know. I mean, in the world where everything is being questioned, and this is what we talk about sometimes on Centreville Voice, is you know, there are some ideas that are out there, some crazy ideas that, like something like, there are no objective truths. All truth is subjective, and it's all either the whole behold, or there's a room for that in life. But there are some real truths, and if you start saying that nothing is true, and there are no objective truths, then there's a slippery slope, because then you can really mean anything you want. And I think that's one of the things that religion has kept a lot of people grounded over the years, and over the centuries, and over the millennia, is that it's maybe given them kind of a homing beacon to go back to, a center point, a grounding point to go back to, whether it's a weekly thing every Sunday, whether it's a 5 5 prayers a day, or whether it's, every Friday or every Saturday, whatever, the holy day is. It's really made me think about okay, so I thought about God. And then as I'm thinking about this, I'm really thinking about the value of religion on top of that. So religion, I've gone everywhere with this, folks. I've flip-flopped over the years. I've shit on religion. I've shit on my own religion. I've shit on other people's religion. I don't know what's going on. And I'm rethinking everything. And one of the things I'm going to promise you to tell you, I want to promise you, I don't know anything. I'm just experimenting, right? So again, with the idea of people finding value and comfort and real value in believing in God, there's also equal value potentially, but potentially not even associated, not even mutually exclusive. You can have, there's great value in the church, right? In the religion itself of the God. I mean, the religion, I guess, is, the rules, the structure, the routine, the sacrament, the the steps needed to perform or to praise that God and to honor that God and to kind of genuflect and to, I guess, honor that God, right? So the religions are centered around that. And I wonder if the purpose of religions over the years has partially one of the purposes of the religion, one of the many purposes, is to, like I said, bring us together again, to recenter us, to refocus us on a common goal or a common focal point. Like maybe like a common enemy joins a country, right? A common deity joins a community, right? Joins a culture, joins a people, joins a family, joins a church, obviously, joins a school, right? In the Catholic school board system or a separate school board system or any school board system that focuses on religion. So, and again, with religion, I'm starting to really, really appreciate, and by golly, geez, I don't know if I swore in that, by golly, it's really made me value and really want to stand up for people's religion during this pandemic. I'll tell you, because not only, holy cow, not only what if religion is a true salvation, and not only what if religion is the way for our mental health and everything, but it's the freedom. People need the freedom for that, right? But what if it is the salvation, or what is if it is a solution to help people not only in the afterlife, because that's a big thing, right? Prepare us for the afterlife, or to I guess that's prepare us for the afterlife. That's one thing, but also it makes potentially, I'm guessing it could make living on this life and this earth more peaceful and more successful, right? If to be successful, I mean to be happy and to be healthy and to be in a loving relationship. That's my idea of success. I don't mean business success. I mean just to survive and to be love the ones you're around, and to not have as little hardship as possible. And I know something like hardship is relative, but feed your family, support yourself, do the things that you like to do. So I don't know. I have thought about, like I said, I've thought about God a lot more lately. I've thought about religion a lot more. All of the religions, I've thought about it because a lot of the religions are in the news, but even before the religions were in the news, just with the pandemic itself. And let me know if you're thinking about religion more than you have. Let me know if you have an affinity towards one, or let me know if you're rediscovering one, or if you're thinking about one you haven't thought about before, or if you have some ideas about God that are alternative. That are maybe, or that are just interesting. I want to know about it. fatsoradio@gmail.com. Folks, thanks so much for listening. This is one of those different episodes where I just kind of see what's going on and see what's up. I hope the shadow's not bad. I know you can see my face. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Don't forget to check out my sponsor all the time, volpemartialarts.com. I love you all. Thanks for listening. Violet's going to say thanks so much for listening. Thanks, everybody. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Just before I go, my dad's coming this weekend. So excited. My dad's coming again this weekend. We're going to cook. We're going to have a good time. We're going to party. Salud, pa. I love you. Have a good weekend, everybody. Peace. Let's say bye to everybody. Bye. And we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't eat your nails and don't pull your hair.
We'll talk about chicken or talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, a very first podcast show.